Happy Tuesday, everybody. Welcome back. Just wanted to keep moving forward, thinking about helping others and doing good in the world. It's January 5th, 2020. Do have tutoring after school today from 4:40 to 5:30. I know it's the second day of the 9 weeks. It's not like anybody needs help writing an essay or anything. But for those of us that are missing hours, we know we were absent from class quite a bit. And rather than waiting till the end of the school year to make up those hours, let's get them done now. Let's stay after school. You can stay after for tutoring from 4:40 to 5:30. I will mark you down for hours so that you get credited and you don't have to worry about making them up at the end of the year. It has to be for this class. If you're missing hours for another class, you have to go to that class and ask that teacher to let you do the same thing. But if you're missing hours in my class, hey, come to tutoring and start making up those hours now. If you make up an hour a couple of times a week, you'll be caught up. So keep that in mind. Today we're going to focus on connecting to prior knowledge, what we know, and using that to come up with our opinions and our ideas about what we're working on today. And the big habit is I will do the work now, not later, now, not tomorrow, now. Take care of it so that you don't have to worry about it later. And for those of us that already did the work from yesterday, right, we had that graded discussion. And if you did it, woohoo, excuse me, I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you for getting it done. Because for some of us, hey, that took effort. We had to suffer to make ourselves do the work and get it turned in. So if you got the work done yesterday, good. Give yourself a pat on the back and be proud of yourself. And let's do it again today. And for those of us that are not confident in doing the work as it's given to us, yeah, it feels weird to turn it in on time. You might even feel nervous or even more difficult as time progresses. That's where suffering comes in. We suffer and we do the work, and the more we practice doing that, the easier it gets. So keep that in mind. So today we're going to read, imagine, listen, interpret using inferencing skills, and we're going to write our answers in the discussion. And for our close, what is an area that you think you might like to volunteer in? And why do you think most people don't volunteer? So be thinking about that as we do our readings for today. And then let's go into Schoology. Week 1. And Monday's work, if you missed the work, here it is. You can watch yesterday's video right here. It opens up in YouTube. And be sure when you answer this, write plenty. Don't just write a line. You're not going to get a good grade on it. And you're better than that. You deserve to make a good grade. You are smart, confident, and successful. Oh, having said that, let's go back. Let's do our positive affirmations. Tell ourselves what to think on purpose. Say them with me. What are you? I am smart, confident, and successful. Awesome. And how do you feel about writing? I love writing. It's so much fun. Yep, I agree. Me too. And how do you feel about schoolwork? The harder I work, the smarter I become. And it's so true. And I had so many people write in their responses from yesterday, boy, I learned that I like writing. I learned that I write better than I thought I could. And that's because you're doing the work. You do the work, you get better at it. You just wait and put it off and then jumble it all up at the last minute. Yeah, you're not going to do quality work. You're not going to learn anything. All right, so if you go into Schoology, week 1, Tuesday's work. And we're going to watch a great video, Student Pen Pals. And you have to watch that on your own. I can't show this on the video because a lot of times it gets cut out. But it's a great video about teenagers volunteering at nursing homes, at retirement homes, and becoming pen pals with seniors. So click on that, watch that video. It's only about 5 minutes long, and it'll really get you thinking. And then we're going to read this article. We'll read it together, and then this quote, which I love. And then what is an area you're interested in to volunteer? What do you think stops most people from volunteering? And what I want us to do is not just comment, but actually make this a discussion. So don't just make your own comment, but click on somebody else's, like this person did it here. She wrote about volunteering helping animals, and somebody else commented on that, and that's really cool. So I want y'all to comment on each other's comments, like each other's comments, read each other's comments, and do that for your neighbors in your class. So it's not just Mr. Carvajal reading and commenting on everything. I want you all to read and comment too. Okay, so let's get to our reading. Not that. Let's get to our reading, Tuesday's work. And those of you that have volunteered, right, we're going to activate prior knowledge. Think about when you volunteer. Maybe you volunteered at a homeless shelter. Maybe you volunteered at the food bank. Maybe you volunteered for Habitat for Humanity, or you volunteered for your church. I have volunteered with my church many times, and it's just a wonderful sense that I get. And yes, I always think I'm too busy, I don't have time. And then when I make the time, it really makes a difference in my heart and my thinking. So let's read this article here. Never a better time for volunteerism. You can click this up and open it yourself. But for this video, we'll just read it together. So it says there's two selections. We're just doing the first one for this, so don't worry about having to read or answer any questions other than the discussion. So never a better time for volunteerism by the Blah Basin Standard, right? If you don't know a word, say blah or skip it, who cares? This editorial appeared in the Uinta Basin Standard, a newspaper in Utah. Duquesne City is a town in the Uinta Basin region in Utah. It has been said there are those who watch things happen, those who wonder what happened, and those who make things happen. In today's down economy, with governments and schools struggling to fill the gaps in their programs, it's time for the return of an American icon, the volunteer. From the colonial Minutemen to the Civil War's Clara Barton and to the barn and church raisings of the West, volunteers have played an important role in achieving the dreams of America's citizens. More recently, for example, in 2009, citizens on the island of Kauai found the access road to a heavily visited park inaccessible. The state of Hawaii estimated the cost of repairs at $4 million, and the state just didn't have it. So, 50 volunteers completed the project in 8 days for free. That's right, they didn't pay anything. It cost the state nothing. And you want to think about it. Here we go, activate prior knowledge. When we see road repairs, when we see land being cleared, how long does it take? When you have paid workers there, how many times do you drive by and not too many of those workers are actually working, and roads are closed for weeks, months? There was a project by my mother's house. The road was closed for over a year while nobody did anything. But these people took care of it in 8 days. Why do you think volunteers might work faster than paid workers? That's a good question to be pondering as we continue to read. Many people don't understand the motivation that drives a volunteer. They wonder if the volunteers have a hidden agenda or some plot to take over. Those who have never really given free service, either anonymously or in the public eye, cannot grasp the pleasure that is obtained by knowing that you contributed to the betterment of the whole. While many service organizations such as churches, the Boy Scouts, honor societies, school classes, and fraternal organizations encourage volunteer hours, if you act outside of those groups where service hours are often expected, you are at once under suspicion. In the Uinta Basin, we have a need for volunteers in our communities, our schools, our healthcare system, early intervention, the arts, tutoring, and the list goes on and on. Why don't we step up and volunteer? Too busy? Too tired? No financial reward? Or do we not volunteer because we are afraid of that ridicule and persecution from the anonymous watchers who have no time to help, but plenty of time to criticize? And Duquesne City has a group of volunteers known locally as the Green Team. They are a loosely organized group of mostly senior age, no insult intended, women and a few adopted men who want to clean up the city and the nearby countryside. They are not paid. They are not a part of the city government as an organization. They raise their own funds to accomplish these goals. They coordinate with the city on projects that they want to undertake, but they do not take direction from the city. Ultimately, they accomplish a huge amount of work that a small city like Duquesne could not accomplish because of a lack of resources and finances. So if all this is true, why would anonymous watchers question the Green Team's motives? Why would they want to stop the work that is being done at no expense to tax-paying citizens? Because for watchers, it is always easier to point a finger than it is to lift one. Volunteers have no time to sit and point. There is work to be done, weeds to pull, trash to collect, children to read to, events to plan, fairs to run, and senior citizens to care for at no charge. It's time to embrace volunteerism again. Our cities and towns need to find a way to nurture the idea and fill staffing needs with people who are ready and willing to serve. And the watchers need to get involved. If you aren't traveling on the train bound for improvement, chances are you are standing on the tracks. Climb aboard instead. The view is amazing. So think about volunteering. Why don't more people volunteer? What do you think? Watch the video. Watch the video of the young people volunteering with the senior citizens. And pause this to think about it. Pause this for a minute, and you can start writing your answer. And then we got one more thing to read. And this is a quote, same as the one from yesterday, the same author, George Bernard Shaw, Man and Superman, 1903. So public domain means that there's no copyright because it's too old. It's over 100 years old. But he wrote about what really makes us happy, right? Here in America, oh, I want to win the lottery. I want to be rich. I want to be able to lay around and do nothing. Look what Mr. Shaw has to say about what really makes us happy. This is the true joy of life, the being used up for a purpose recognized by yourself as a mighty one, being a force of nature instead of a feverish, selfish little clod of ailments and grievances, complaining that the world will not devote itself to making you happy. I am of the opinion that my life belongs to the whole community, and as long as I live, it is my privilege to do for it whatever I can. I want to be thoroughly used up when I die, for the harder I work, the more I live. Life is no brief candle to me. It is a sort of splendid torch, which I've got a hold of for a moment, and I want to make it burn as brightly as possible before handing it on to future generations. By George Bernard Shaw. If you see yourself in that, if you have ever been or are now a feverish, selfish little clod of ailments and grievances, I've been there. I know what that's like too. And trust me, you feel better getting to work. You feel better doing the work now. And you feel better when you know you're a good person and you're helping people. So once again, take some time and respond to the discussion question. What is an area you might be interested to volunteer in? And what do you think stops people from volunteering? And then look over, read over, like, comment on somebody else's writing so that we can have a discussion within the class. And I think that'd be a very great thing. If you have any questions for me, be sure and message me and let me know. And I will see you again tomorrow. Tomorrow we get into our unit of research, and we're going to be researching local charities and how they help people and how much help they actually do. You know, how are they using the money they get to help people in the area? And is it one that we would want to send our own money to or not? But we'll talk about that more tomorrow. Come to class tomorrow if you can. And if not, I should have my videos around noon every day, so you can watch them just like you're watching this one. Thanks for tuning in. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.